Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. And today I'll have one of my own battles for you again. Now I'm in the Mutsu, the tier 6 Japanese premium battleship. On the map Two Brothers in a 4-point domination game mode, and it's technically a tier 7 battle, but there is only one tier 7 per team. So it's pretty good matchmaking. Now also my team has a fail division, so we have 2 tier 4 ships. There is a carrier, there is only one destroyer per team. So we shall see how this goes. Now currently our carrier is also, I guess he is following the team. And he has to be careful though. I mean, it's possible that somebody is sneaking through the middle here and he has to move with the masses. He can't just sit in our cap. But if he wants to get closer for protection, that seems like a decent idea for now. Now our destroyer is pretty successfully taking Point Alpha so far, and well, we have a brave Cleveland inside Point Delta, but I don't think this will be very successful because, well, there are too many enemies. The Cleveland is spotted and the Cleveland is under fire. And meanwhile, I'm not doing a good job at hitting enemy ships. Now we have a smoke screen here, so this is probably the enemy destroyer. Which means we have to be careful, there might be incoming torpedoes. But he is a long way from here, which is kinda surprising. And there was a nice strike against the enemy Independence. So now the enemy carrier is spotted. And he's a little bit too far away, but if we have the opportunity to sink the enemy carrier early on, this would be nice. And I'm thinking about shooting a broadside from Kirk, but instead I'm going for the carrier here. And the reasoning behind it is it's early in the game. If you sink a carrier early, it really makes a difference. And I got a hit there, but fortunately we can't see him, and there he is again, only for a second. Looks like the enemy carrier is almost down, so hopefully we will get the chance to sink him before he can escape. And meanwhile I'm just taking shots at a broadside Dunkirk. Dunkirk? Probably something like that. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing ship names, by the way. Anyway, now I should probably be shooting a cruiser here because they are much more squishy, but the turret traverse of the Mutsu is not so great, which means I want to keep my guns pointing this way, and while I'm reloading I'm getting my chance at the Independence once more. All I need is one hit. Not sure how well I aimed there, so I'm using all of my guns. Hopefully at least one shot will hit. It looks like the first salvo missed and the second salvo does the trick. So the carrier is gone, and that's a big win for us already. Now ship-wise it's pretty even. We have lost our destroyer, which is problematic, but we still got our carrier, and the carrier can provide spotting, and obviously the carrier can now, without too much interference, run strikes against the enemy team. Now we've successfully captured this point, and me and my division, we will just continue pushing towards the Charlie cap. Our main force is on this side, the main enemy force is on the other side, and our team on the other side is wisely retreating. They can't do anything against this massive amount of enemies. There is also a cyclone incoming, which might make things interesting. Now we still have to be aware of the mine cassette that's somewhere around here, so I'm expecting torpedoes coming from there at some point. But nothing we can do about that. It's possible that our carrier will... There are some torpedoes. Now it's possible that our carrier will come and help us spot at some point, but currently I think the carrier is just running strikes against enemy over there. Now the carrier doesn't really need his fighter plane anymore, so it would be nice if the fighter plane helped here spot. And actually the fighter plane is coming in this direction, so maybe that's exactly what he is planning to do. Now this Omaha here is a little bit annoying, so I'm turning my turrets now in her direction. And hopefully I'll be able to deal with this Omaha before he can reverse back to safety. And those torpedoes shouldn't be a problem. Now I'm afraid the Omaha has realized that there's trouble incoming. It's possible that he's watching my turret traverse, but I think he's waited a little bit too long to escape. And yeah, I think those shells are gonna hit, and goodbye. So that's a flank secured. And now we still have the Minekaze around here. Now so far the Minekaze hasn't had a lot of luck with her torpedoes, but that might change. And the Mutsu isn't that agile, so I should be careful. Now my next target is this Emerald, who is nicely enough showing broadside, and the destroyer is spreading his torpedoes. But what he wants to do is small spreads, launch everything at the same time and create a small wall where it's hard to dodge. Now, thankfully the destroyer is using his smoke, which means we now know exactly where the torpedoes will come from. And one of my division mates got rid of the Emerald. Now I'm going back shooting the Dunkirk, and I'm trying to vary my speed a little bit. I'm having a problem. I wanna base the smoke because that's where the torpedoes come from, but I don't wanna show too much broadside towards the battleships, so I have to be careful. Now thankfully we have a cruiser coming here, and the Duca Dorster is hopefully helping us deal with the destroyer. And I took one torpedo hit, but it's not too problematic. My repair is almost ready again, so I'll be able to deal with the flooding. Now, the Dorster is hopefully having Hydro ready, which means he could go and hunt down the destroyer. Well, the cyclone is moving in. We are losing vision of the enemy ships. I've also launched my plane not because I need the range, but because it might help spot something. Might also help if the destroyer is leaving the smoke behind the island. And thankfully I should be able to dodge those torpedoes. Now this was a much better spread from the destroyer, but still too big. The holes were too big. Or let's just say the torpedoes were spotted too early, so it was no problem dodging them, thanks to our cruiser here. And now my focus is taking down the destroyer. I'm checking my own torpedoes, but I don't think I'll get something off. Doesn't look like the destroyer is coming around this side. He's probably running away using the island here as cover, so I'll try to go on the other side of the island, but I'm too late. I think my team is dealing with the destroyer quite nicely. Now unfortunately for me that means I've moved in a bit of an awkward position, so I can turn around here and follow my team, or I guess I could have gone around the other side of the island, but I really wanna stick closer to my friendly battleships here. During a cyclone it's important to stick together. Now we speed it up a little bit because, well, I've maneuvered myself in not such a great position. And thankfully my ship is faster than a US battleship, so I should be able to catch up, but it will take quite a bit of time. And in a cyclone, it's, as I mentioned before, rather important to stick together, because whatever they engage in, I can't see it. And they can't spot it for me, because I can only see 8 kilometers. And this means that my guns are now out of play for a while, so maybe I should have just trusted my cruiser to take out the destroyer, or maybe I should have tried to find a better route to catch up. Well, it's also possible for my division mates to slow down. But then again, we just wanted to get the capture point, and they aren't really in any danger. It's more like annoying for me, and not so much for them. But I'm almost there, and soon I will find something. And finally I'm able to shoot things again, so this detour took a lot longer than expected. And that's something that in a cyclone you have to keep in mind. So Hindsight, I should have probably let my team deal with the destroyer and just followed straight towards Point Alpha. My division mates took quite a bit of damage while I was unable to help them out because I just needed to catch up. But anyway, I have a broadside Miyoko there for me to shoot at, so let's hope those shells count. And I'm looking for a good torpedo launch here, but honestly, I should have probably tried to launch something, even if I don't get right in the mark. The torpedoes on this ship reload rather quickly. I mean, they aren't that spectacular, so you can't just, well, launch and pray. Now my division mate here is thinking, he's also telling me here that if I want, I could just sit behind him and use him as a torpedo shield against the Miyoko, because in all probability the Miyoko has launched torpedoes herself towards us. But I don't want to sit here like that. It would mean presenting a nice broadside towards the Bayern. And I still only get overpens at the Miyoko, which is kind of frustrating. So I launch my torpedoes against the Bayern. And now I'll try to angle against her. The armor of the Mutsu isn't the best, and I want to be really well angled. Even worse, there is also a König now shooting at me. And my health are dropping dangerously low. Meanwhile, the game is looking quite decent for us. Although we don't know how the fight at Point Charlie will end. We just lost a ship, but they lost the Bayern. Now my division mate is engaging the Congo, and that's a battle he should win without a problem, while I'm engaging the König. And that just hurt. Now while I might be tempted to use my torpedoes, the angles are just too bad, and I'm happy to use my front guns only currently. Quite a bit of damage towards the König. My next heal is 1 minute out, so that will take a while. I'll keep angled quite nicely against him and just... yeah, I'm bouncing quite a lot of shells currently. That's nice. So my division mate should be able to deal with the Congo anytime soon. I also have a Kaiser backing me up, and together we should have no trouble dealing with the König then and securing the win. Now it might be an idea to switch to high explosive right now, because König is angled quite nicely, but the game is won already anyway. So let's take a look at the results, and I managed to get 1932 base experience, and I'm quite happy with that. My division did great, so shout out to my division mates. And yeah, well, we also had all the kills in this game. But I have to mention here that doesn't mean that the rest of our team didn't do anything. The Duca d'Oster, for example, performed quite nicely. He was very helpful in, well, taking out the enemy destroyer. And experience-wise, everybody in our team had above 800 experience, so yeah, it was a nice match. I got myself Confederate and Dreadnought. And I think everyone in my division got Confederate. So yeah, scored 122,000 points of damage. And I hope you enjoyed watching this battle. If the battleships stick together and push, nice things can happen. And I'll see you guys next time.